Welcome everybody back to the channel. Welcome everybody back. Welcome everybody back. I hope you guys have been having an amazing week. Let me see if I can get some of you guys. And as you guys come in, definitely hit the like button, subscribe button, the bell notification. Definitely always hit the like, guys. But I don't know who's viewing, but I'm hanging out with you guys on a Sunday evening. First thing I want to say is for all the people who are watching, thank you. Thank you for always watching Boost in Motion. I appreciate you guys hanging there with me through this journey, laughing and joking with me. And I'm just so thankful of having you guys as viewers. So thankful. But anyways, shout out to Cam Z for commenting. I appreciate you so much. As you guys come in, just hit the like button. Just definitely hit the like button so I could just get those views up and everything like that. What's going on, Ricky? I hope you're doing well. I hope you've been feeling well and hope you're enjoying your Sunday. As you guys come in, comment below, comment in the message box. We can talk a little bit. If you guys got some questions, I'm hanging out with you guys on a Sunday evening, afternoon for some of you Cali guys, because you know you guys are like 3 hours behind, I assume. But yeah, as you guys come in, definitely hit the like button. Once again, for the people jumping in, I just want to say thank you guys for being great viewers. Thank you guys for just giving me your likes. I'm just super appreciative that I could make content for you guys. Okay, what's going on, Blacksman? What's going on, man? What's up? New M reveal looking aggressive. Maybe next purchase. Yeah, Ricky. I see that they are showing off the new M4 front end. I don't like the grill, just like I don't like the grill in the Z car. But yes, the new Z, that new M is gonna come out, and I'm glad they're coming out a week after the Z car, so that we don't put everything in 1 week to talk about it. Dominic, numbers and times to expect from a full bolt-on tuned 3.7 Q50. Dominic. What do you mean, Dominic? What do you mean by numbers and times? If you're talking about power-wise, the car is going to be close to 400 horsepower. Times, I'm assuming at the track. I mean, Q50s usually do low 13s, high 12s. Full bolt-on a 93 tune. You don't really get that much more lower. Even if you like strip out the car, you might get slightly low 12s. Grill will grow on me too, huh? Raphael, what's going on, man? You know, if the 2014 Sport Hybrids has DDS system, I'm not too positive, but because 2014 was a new year that they added the electrical, the drive-by-wire, there's probably optioned out ones with electrical steering and without it. Definitely, I'm looking into coils right now, but don't want to lose a component. Well, you said DDS. I'm thinking about the direct active steering. No, the 2014 Sport Hybrids do not have DDS suspension. It's just regular sports suspension, so you can get coilovers with it, no problem. It's only the DDS only came on the 2016 and up Red Sports and 3.0 Ts. That's it. They didn't come on any other Q50 models. What's going on, Journey? What's up? Okay, 0 to 60 quarter mile times. To be honest, I don't know any 0 to 60 times for the 3.7 Q50s. It's probably going to be somewhere around either low 5s or high 4s, from what I can remember from the G37 days. Journey Fitfit is, are you still looking for a G37 plan? Yeah, Journey, I'm still looking for a G37 6-speed manual. I'm moving away from the convertibles because even though I'm from New York, Brooklyn, New York, like the Flex, the convertibles are another $3,000 to $5,000 tax on top of the regular price. So more and more, I'm leaning back just to the regular 6-speed manual coupe. Are you okay? Cool. Marcus, what's going on? As you guys come into the chat, hit the like buttons, guys. Get the likes up, please. I appreciate you guys so much for that. Marcus, I've had my Q50 Sports Hybrid since year 1. I've done nothing to it, but I think it's time to chrome delete. Yes, definitely do a chrome delete. Wheel swap. Yeah, I don't see why not. You could definitely do wheels and get a black grill. Yeah, I like the black grill. You could paint the inside and keep the outside, but you want to do a chrome delete. So if you don't black out the complete grill, it has to have some kind of accent to it or chrome accent. And get some performance mods. There's not too much performance mods you can do with the hybrid because there's really no way to tune it. The most you can do is like a high flow cat and maybe a CATBACK exhaust, and that's really about it. Like you really can't do too much, but you could definitely put a lot of money into looks such as coilovers, suspension, drop springs, some wheels, and that just make the car look a little bit more appealing. Mr. Casanova. Oh, what's going on, man? Bradford, what's going on? What's going on, Bradford White? What's going on, man? I love the new seat and chair, man. Just chilling, man. Just want to. I had the backdrop for a while, but I just don't go live enough. For sure. Winner, what's going on? Winner, what's up, Mr. Casanova? I am planning on buying a QX50, 2016 with 5K miles. Is that a good car? Well, the QX50 is a relatively new Well, you said Q2016. Yeah, that's a 3.7 liter. That's, I would assume, that comes in that motor. So in that car. So it's perfectly fine. 5,000 miles on a 3.7 is nothing. That motor is going to be perfectly fine. It's a 3.7. Yash, I don't know what you're up, but you took back your statement. Cam, what's going on? I'm about to have a full fast intentions low and downpipe installed on my Q60 3.0T. One guy told me he can't install it because it's illegal unless I get a tune. In Florida? Well, no, not in Florida. Okay. Well, it depends on, I don't know what states do that, but just find someone else that can do it for you. You should be able to install lower downpipes with no problem. Unless I get a tune. I live in Massachusetts. What exactly does the tune do to lower downpipes? Don't even worry about it. Just go to somebody else. He's freaking BSing you. Just go to somebody else who just put the lower downpipes on. But a tune just pretty much readjust some of the parameters of the car and allows you to gain more performance, so the car can actually be faster. That's really it. They just change some parameters up just to get the maximized amount of power out the car. But you can put lower downpipes on your car right now, and you do not need a tune. So tell them to get out of there with that. Go somewhere else. Ray said, "What's good, Boost? Q50 red. Recently, my alternator belt broke, and my steering starts to act funny now." Yeah, that's pretty common issue. If you got a VR30, Q50 or Q60, over time the belt will pop. There's a serpentine belt that will pop. If you have an early model 2016, 2017 Q50 or 2017 Q60, there is a technical service bulletin. Repeat, technical service bulletin. If you have where the alternator would have to be realigned. But after 2017, if you have a 2017 late model 2017 and up Q50 or Q60, is not included. So you're gonna have to just change your belt like I do. If you start getting squeaking noises from your serpentine belt or between 2,000 or 4,000 RPM, just change your belt out. If you don't got no warranty, it's about $50, $60 for the belt. It takes 15 minutes to change. I even did it on video for you guys. So it's a maintenance item that has to be changed out. It is what it is. Getting a 2018 Q60 RS tuned at RT Tuning. Okay, shout out to James, because yeah, I know James works at because I live in New York and don't want to drive to Chicago for MS. Do you think RT is a good choice? Thanks, Boost. RT Tuning has been around this community for quite a while long. They're one of the trendsetters of the community next to AMS. At the start, they weren't the best, but if you really want to find somewhere that's local that can download, I'd rather you go to RT Tuning than go to Real Auto Dynamics in Oceanside, like, because they're not even making any type of noise over there. But RT Tuning is one of the leading companies that started with this platform, so definitely I would respect and I would hope they would do a great job with your car, especially with the firmware update. So yes, I think they're definitely a go. Give me a second, guys. A lot of questions are coming in. King, as you guys come into the chat, definitely hit the like button, guys. Get that like. So if you're watching me and you listen to me, come on, just give me a quick little like, man. I'm super appreciative of you guys who do that. I'm trying to boost my Q50 3.0T. At King, your car is already boosted. What do you mean? Hustle. Yo, what up, Boost? And YouTube, new to the channel, extremely interested in person Q50. Rented a TI with a twin turbo and fell in love. I'm very confused what a TI is, or T. I think you mean 3.0T. Any advice for all those in the chat is appreciated. So hustling sounds, well, basically it sounds like you want a 3.0T Q50, the twin turbo one. Well, you probably already heard me say it. The transmission motor is relatively reliable, but if you're gonna get a, if you want, you can lease it. If they're relatively cheap, you can lease them in the 300s if you have decent credit. I would recommend leasing. But if you want to buy a pre-owned one, you can get an early model 2016. It's just perfectly fine. Just know that try to stay away from really excessively high mileage, like 50, 60, 70K, unless the turbo's been changed. It's a turbo car, and it's not only Q50. It's just, at the end of the day, the more mileage you have on turbos, the more likely those turbos need to be changed. They're relatively to change. They're about $900 to $1,000 each. Of course, you have to drop the motor, but once the turbos are changed, you can get a long longevity out the car. That's my recommendation. But outside of that, the car is relatively reliable. I've had no real issues where I'm stranded on the side of the road. Some people might complain about the belt issue, but the serpentine belt issue could be remedied for $60. Literally, if you turn your own wrench, change your belt in 15 minutes, you'll never be stuck on the side of the road, ever. Joseph, so I'm looking to get a Q50 Luxe or Red Sport, but looking to spend 21 to 27K or 350, do you think I should lease or get a used or CPO? Wow, Joseph, that's a very broad question. And yo, to be honest, like I just sat there and said it, it's up to you. You know, you can get one for $21,000 of your 2016. That's perfectly fine, but you know it's going to have slightly higher mileage. And you're kind of probably coming out of the warranty if it's a 2016, or you probably don't have a warranty. But if you get a 2020, you'll have Apple CarPlay. You can probably get them somewhere around the 300 realm, and you can be in the car and have your fun. But you're gonna have to give it back. You can't do too much to it because it's a lease in a way. It's up to you. Or certified pre-owned. Usually that means it just inspected a little bit better. Usually costs a little bit more, but it's really up to you. I mean, you know what you're willing. I feel like the camera's like messing up a little bit. You guys know what you're willing to pay. So at the end of the day, it's up to you. You said $350 a month. If you can get a pre-owned one for less than $350, then go for that. Or if you know you can get $350 and you have good credit, well, go do that. It's up to you. You know. Gabe. Okay. Does your VR30's engine smell rich occasionally, even when warm up? My 2016 had an issue since I've got it and noticed that normally when I push it to Revlon, I should be worried. Well, you said a smell rich. I don't know what smell rich means. Unless maybe there's an exhaust leak somewhere, if you know if that's what you're talking about. But as you said, if you're pushing it to the rev line, I'm assuming that's just exhaust coming out the back, because a lot of water and condensation builds up in the rear muffler section. So maybe it's just blowing out and some of that stuff is burning off. But that's one thing I could think of. But yeah, I don't have any rich smell. John Wick, what's going on, man? Okay, so which car more reliable, Red Sport or 3.7? 3.7 naturally aspirated VQ is more reliable than a VR30, period. That's it. It's just the car, that motor's been out for two decades already, almost longer than that. That motor's refined. That's a workhorse motor. Cam, I appreciate that. No problem. Yash, hey, what car do you think is faster? A stock Q50 3.0 or B or a Kia Stinger 3.3? The Kia Stinger should be faster, period. That's it. You said the stock 3.0. It's faster. It has more horsepower on paper and all that. Also, both cars with Burger tuning, 450 horsepower, blah, blah, blah. Stinger with, yeah, even if they're both JB4, it will be faster. You would probably have the JB4 Red Sport for it to at least be a little bit better of a race. But just a regular 3.0 T ain't going to make the numbers that a regular 3.3 T with a JB4 makes. Adrian, would the pure or RT turbos pass smog? Yes, Adrian. I mean, of course, your car needs to be tuned once you add the turbos, but yes, you'll pass smog. I mean, once your car is tuned on stock turbos, it pass smog. It all depends on the tuner and how rich they have it, have your tune done. But yeah, you should be able to pass smog if you go to a reputable tuner. Wick9 says, title says Q50, Q60 talk, but can I say something about Z1 Z Pro? Of course, Char. Yo, listen, we hanging out here, man. This is a Nissan Infiniti channel. I mean, I do want to get into other platforms. You can talk about anything. We talking here, man. What's up? Richards, what kind of power increase can you get from your Red Sport with downpipes? To be quite honest, Richards, I never really know how to answer that question properly, because it's not like an NA car, a naturally aspirated car. You get rid of the cats and you'll see like a gain of 10 to 20 wheel horsepower, right? But with turbos, it's slightly different. When you remove the restriction of the turbos, what it actually allows the car to do, for people who are watching, is it allows for you to, when you think about you always have a dyno, right, with a line, that squiggly line on the chart. What it allows you to do is to have peak torque numbers at a lower RPM, because you have less restriction. Same thing with wheel horsepower. Wheel horsepower usually goes up a little higher, that high RPM, because there's less back pressure. So I really can't tell you there'll be a gain, but what I would say is that you'll have lower end torque, a little lower in RPM, and you'll have higher end wheel horsepower at the higher RPM. That's what I've learned, at least what I could sit there and say. Ricky, what's going on? Okay, Ricky says QX new design looks so good. The QX50 or 60? Because Ricky, they're supposed to release the new QX60 60 design sometime this week, I believe, as like a snapshot. The new QX55 is supposed to be released in, well, they're supposed to have the display in November. But the QX50, I don't know if they redesigned it. It's been out for 3 years, so they'll probably just redo it to make it look a little nicer. Lindsay, what brake fluid are you running after your BBK? I was supposed, well, I added some 5.1. Yeah, I added some 5.1. I believe the 5.1 can still be mixed with the .4 and .5. No. .5 can't be mixed with 3 and 4. Bear with me, guys. I can't remember. I believe .3, .4, and .5 point can be mixed. .5 can be mixed with that. So I went up to the 5.1. I mixed with the 5.1. But bear with me. It's been a while since I've done with anything with the brake pads. But the 5.1 and what was it? Was it Liquid Moly? I forgot the brand. I think it was Liquid Moly that I used. But I was supposed to come out with a video with the full brake flush, but I never did. Don't beat me up, guys. Okay, thank you. Caleb, what's going on, man? Caleb always comment on my videos. Like literally once it drops, what up? Like that's it. Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate the consistency, man. How much money will it cost to replace turbos on a Q50 at a dealership or private shop? I'm not gonna know how much it actually costs to do it at a dealership. Some people might have got their turbos replaced in this chat, so hopefully they answer you. But it all depends on the shop that you go to and how much hours they charge you. But from what I've been told from estimates, between $1,500 to $2,500 to replace the turbos. So all in all, if you got RT turbos and then let's say it was $2,000, it's about a $4,000 turbo change. But it depends on who you go to and then who's been doing it for a while. Sometimes they charge a little cheaper. Some shops charge $175 an hour, and I know some shops that charge $80 an hour. So you can just save $100 every hour just going to the cheaper shop, you know. But it all depends. Okay. Pulling strings, what's up, man? Yo, Boost, do you think I gotta take out K&N drop-in air filters before going into the dealer? No, you don't have to. I take out my JB4 and downpipes before going in, but I don't know if it bothered me for the K&N. Well, I mean, strings, to be honest with you, why are you taking off the downpipes for that? I mean, listen, I understand they make a record when you go, if you keep the downpipes in, but why are you going into the Infiniti? Is something really bad happening with your car that you need to go to them? I'm just being honest, because if it's just a simple oil change, just take it to a Jiffy Lube or something like that and just get the oil change and you keep the receipt. That's it. You don't always have to go to Infiniti for it. But if it's something serious like, you know, you're having a problem with the car not starting or whatever the case might be, I get it. I get that part. Like that's something a little different. Or something's wrong with the heating or AC, then I kind of get it. But I don't. Sometimes they don't need to bring a car on a lift to do that type of work. You know, I'm just saying. But it's up to you. But I really wouldn't. I wouldn't stress myself about K&N. Wood says, is it worth put a supercharger 3.7? Yes. It's definitely worth it if you're looking for power. But here's the thing. If you're talking about the 3.7 Q50, the transmission will be temperamental. The transmission will go out. It can't handle that amount of torque. But there is a fix for that. Most people have been swapping in the VR30 transmission, the 7-speed automatic from the 2016 and up. A few people have been starting to move over to that transmission. So it is a bolt-on. It doesn't line up perfectly, but it swaps right over, just changing the valve body and a few other stuff. You could definitely look into Infiniti Brothers, I believe is his YouTube. I followed the guy for quite a while, and he did it swap on his G37. But a few people are doing on the Q50s now too. This allows you to have more torque, and guess what? You won't blow your transmission. So, but it's definitely worth it. There's people with 3.7 Q50s, G37s, and 370Zs with 500, 600 wheel horsepower with a blower, pretty much. So it's definitely worth it as long as you got the money, you know. Q50 Red Sport. Yeah, man. I mean, you just took the whole name, Q50 Red Sport, man. Shout out, bro. Shout out to you, bro. Let me see. Bear with me, guys. Omar said, what would you do a collab with Kirk of Luxurious Fleet or the guys at Nissan Nation? Well, I don't know. Are those YouTubers? I mean, I have no problem with collabing and talking with people from anywhere. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, they have a bunch of information that they're willing to share with the community. I would love to give you guys that. Like even if it was Fresh Kicks and he wanted to come on my channel and talk, I have no problem with it. Shout out to Noor TM, you know, with the 370Z with the swap VR30. He's putting in my head like, yo, you should start a podcast, something that you could get other people on. And I know I can probably definitely do that. It's something I've been definitely thinking about, but I have no problem with collabing, talking with these people, and just getting a bit more information on it. Shoot, if Nissan pulled up to me and was like, "Hey, Boost, can we talk about the Z car on your channel?" I'd be like, "Hell yeah," you know. But I'm a small YouTube channel, so it's all about views. It's not about subscribers. I could have 1,000,000 subscribers, but only if 10,000 of you guys watch the videos, they don't care. They don't see the value in it, you know. When you flash EcuTech, is there a stock map worth for smog and KA? Yes, whenever you flash tune your car on EcuTech, they actually send you a stock map, so you can actually just flash back the stock map and you'll be perfectly fine. So you can pass smog. Yes, you can do that also. Yo, what's going on, Twan? What's up? Red Sport Q50 JB4 versus Stinger GT JB4. Which one will win? Like I said earlier, it should be a pretty close race. It just depends on who would heat soak quicker. I think the Q50 will probably heat soak because I believe the 3.3 is air to air, but it is a little bit heavier. But it should be close. It should be a close race. It all depends on the fuel that they're using and pretty much who gets on it first. But we're talking about horsepower that's relatively close to each other. We're not talking about a big difference in horsepower when we talk about these modifications. Lyric says, my state doesn't have any emission regulations. I have mega lower downpipes, CATBACK exhaust, plan to tune. Saw a video on full downless catalyst pipes, and AMS told me that if I have full down catalyst tune right, I should be fine. Yeah, I mean, Lyric, that's very true. AMS is right. If your car gets tuned properly, you really shouldn't have any issues. It's just that some tuners don't. The reason why I say catalyst is harder for tuners because it's not like one tuner has as much experience as another tuner. So AMS knows that they have to taper off the PSI and start closing the wastegates a lot earlier. Some tuners keep the wastegates keeps the wastegates shut all the way to the higher RPM, which is a no-no. You're killing the turbos doing that. So that's why AMS said that. But I still recommend, well, in your case, your state doesn't matter about emissions, so you can go full catalyst and not give an F. But I still recommend full catted downpipes. I think those are good, I think not best bang for its buck, but I still like not killing the earth, if you know what I mean. But the sound of the turbos without cats actually sounds amazing too. So it's really up to you. But definitely, if you find the right tuner, you should be good. Thanks, bud, for all the info. Appreciate that, Chris. Thank you, man. Raphael says, I for sure tune into a podcast if you made one. Listen, I'm definitely thinking about doing it. I'm also been talking to some of my closest friends. If I do a podcast, it might be a second channel, and it may not only be about cars. It actually might be about cars, women, money, and pretty much us men just being the best men we can be. So we don't only talk about cars like Infinitis, Mustangs, Mopars, but we also talk about women issues, and how we want to be, navigate that type of lifestyle, or money, like our careers, how you can be the best man you could be. So it's more of like a male motivation and mentoring podcast. But it's just something I'm considering doing with some of my friends. But it'll be a separate channel. I might throw a little bit of it in here just so you guys go check out the other channel, but we'll see what happens. Okay, cool. Since Nissan announced the new Z will have a TT V6, if they still use the VR30, I hope they revise. The VR30 is a good engine, but be great if it was an iron block. I don't think they're gonna do first thing iron pistons. No. Who uses iron pistons nowadays? That's not even a thing. No, bro. But iron block is too heavy. That's old, outdated technology. It's cheaper to manufacture just aluminum blocks. It's so much easier for weight and everything like that. I don't see that happening. But I understand what you mean by iron blocks, from the LSs to, is it 2JZ iron block? I'm not too positive, but I don't see them doing that, bro. Like, mess with iron blocks. Everything's aluminum now, or some kind of mixture of metals that are super light and could take the amount of stress and heat. What mods would recommend for my 2016 Silver Sport? By the way, it's my daily. Lewis, it's actually pretty simple, man. It's your daily. Like, you can literally, because I have videos on this already. Believe me, I have plenty of videos on this on my channel. But to make it simple and easy, your daily. If you like sound, throw a simple CATBACK exhaust on there. If you want a quick power without having to deal with an actual tuner and sending them back logs, just plug something in and forget about it. Burger Tuning JB4. That's really it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to gain crazy motor power, you have to spend more money and look into more deeper things. But some of you guys actually just got a JB4, lower downpipes, and called it a day. And that's a good quick bump of 50 to 80 horsepower, and that's fine. You know that you're not gonna be the fastest thing out there, but a good 50 to 80 horsepower bump is a big difference in car. I'm telling you guys right there. I'll be more reliable and take more boost. I don't want to get an upgraded heat exchanger. Yeah, see, same. Well, see, look, if you're gonna add a JB4 Burger Tuning, you're gonna need an upgraded heat exchanger, because I mean, you don't have to. You can keep the car stock, but just know if you start getting on it, it won't have as much power or consistent power, because the turbo coolant, the cooling for the turbo intercoolers will be a little bit hotter and will start warming up a lot quicker, so you won't have consistent performance. That's why most people get the heat exchanger. But if you want to keep a stock heat exchanger, that's just fine. I did the same thing with my car when I first got the Burger Tuning JB4. For about a good year, I had just a JB4 and like a month of delete, and I called it a day. But I noticed once I got an upgraded heat exchanger, because I started doing more stuff in my car, I saw how consistent the power was. Jake, hey, just got here. How much would it cost to replace the turbos on my car? Well, I mean, Jake, I don't really know the answer to that. Someone had asked that a little earlier. I don't know how much Infiniti charges to change out their bad turbos under the dealership, but just know it'll be expensive. I think the turbos are about $1,100 each, and somebody might have in this chat probably already got the turbos replaced at the dealership for for warranty purposes, and sort of bill them probably was like cut two. They probably spit on it. Do I need to go back to EcuTech stop map before resetting my ECU? What do you mean? Yeah, if you're gonna reset your ECU like through the, because I know they're supposed to have some kind of update for the earlier Q50s with the VR30. Yeah, you should. You don't want to brick the ECU, so you should always put the stock map on, and whatever Infiniti got to do with it, let them do with it, and then you come and put your map on it. Pack, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Good to know. What about the catalyst downpipe? Good to know about the catalyst downpipe. Okay, cool. Anyone here put electronic exhaust bypass in their downpipe? A few people have put electronic cutouts on their YPIPE. You can do it. It's not hard. If you find any welder, you can do it. But I think that's mainly better for if you go into the drag strip, so that you can just really add the launch control with EcuTech, because you could get launch control with EcuTech, and you just open the valves and you get the best launches for the track. But for daily driving, I wouldn't see what's the point of cutting cutouts. They start to leak over time. They fail. The motors go bad. The reliability, I think, on electronic cutouts just suck. Maybe like electronic cutouts for like the rear section of the car, so you could just modify the exhaust a little bit. I think those are pretty good and add to the sound. So if you want the car to be quiet, you have it closed. If you want the car to be loud, you open them up. But this is just my opinion. I have mega lower downpipes. Bought top something DP for $200. Okay, about to install, but might get it done by a professional. Yeah, Lyric. I mean, I don't see a problem with it, as long as they don't excuse me, guys. As long as they don't destroy the oxygen sensors trying to install it, you should be fine. Because sometimes people mess things up, and that ain't good. Guys, I got 54 of you guys watching. Can you get them likes up? We're hanging out on this Sunday. I'm super appreciative of hanging out with you guys. I'm gonna try to get to all your questions. Okay. I'm not going to be as live as I usually am. It's Sunday. I'm a little tired, but I just wanted to hang out with you guys a bit, knock out some questions. But also, if you guys are watching me right now, definitely, if you don't have me on boostinmotion IG already, definitely add me on my boostinmotion IG, guys. Appreciate that. How fast can I get a Q50 res both JB4 and CATBACK with? Well, Yash, I can only tell you this, because when I had my Q50 on JB4 and pretty much majority of the bolt-ons, with the exception of the CATBACK exhaust, the fastest I ever went was 12.23 at 113 or 114 miles an hour. And it seems that people still haven't gotten to the 11s with full bolt-on and 93 fuel, or even the 85 mix yet. I mean, into the 11s. So you should be somewhere around with decent aggressive JB4 map and proper cooling, probably low 12s, mid 12, low 12s. All depends on the launch though, because you're going to trap between 113, maybe 116, but that their 60 foot is going to need to be at least a 1.8, which is super hard to get. I do know JB4 has the wires for the wastegate, but I don't know how to use those things. I don't even mess with that stuff anymore. But if you can be able to control those wastegates and get those things to be closed, at when you're brake boosting the car. Oh my god, you should be able to pull a 1.8, maybe 1.7, but no one's really messing with that stuff right now. Any recommendation on high flows on a Q60? I can. What you mean? Is it a 3.0 T or is it Q60? VR30. James, what's going on? I got beat by a full bolt-on 370Z in my Lux, and mods you would recommend still in the warranty. James, easiest mod that you can do and the best bang for his buck. I hate to say it, JB4 Bruce controller. You plug that thing in, you add what map 1 or 2 or 7, whatever, on 93 fuel. You'll gain between 50 to 80 to 90 horsepower depending, and you'll beat a full bolt-on 370Z. That's easy work. You don't have to do nothing else. And then you unplug that thing whenever you take it in for warranty. You can't do that with low downpipes. You can't do that with, with flash tune. Yes, you gain the most horsepower, but there's other prerequisites such as heat exchanger, downpipes, this stuff, which you could do the same thing on JB4. But at the end of the day, is it as simple as plugging in for 5 minutes and unplugging it for 2 minutes? That's what I'm trying to say. Omar, what is your take on a hybrid Z? That would actually be pretty cool. Knowing that Nissan has a lot of that hybrid technology already in their Leaf and a few other models, I see it. It'll be cool, but it won't be sporty. You know, like I see right now, like you can see on the Porsches, the RS6s, those cars. I know the RS6 also has some kind of electric motor on it, and the Porsche Panamera has like an electric / hybrid system too. It's kind of cool, but it's still more on the performance end. I don't know how they would actually make it cool here, because that means they will make the car heavier and it's road drive. Nah, maybe not. I think they should just keep this thing more analog, keep it with the traditional motor, transmission, 6-speed manual, and 7-speed or 9-speed auto. That's just my honest take on it. Omar, do you think Nissan should do a Kicks size Z SUV? Nah. I think we need to stop modernizing, taking a car and trying to put it into a truck so much. Like if you look at like the 440s, they look like the X4Ms, or the 340, excuse me, the X3Ms look like the 3 Series. I mean, it's cool for BMW, but I think there's too much crossovers on the market, guys. Like at the end of the day, this is what people in the United States buy, and it's cool. But people that's hanging out in this video right now, y'all got a Q50, Q60, G37, or 370Z because of the performance end. We're only a small part of that market. Most of the market just really want something to put the kids in the back and some space and decent and drive comfy. That's most of the market. So, but this is me. I'm not an engineer. Silverline, yo, what up, Booze? How you doing? I'm feeling great, man. Quick question: what brand exhaust muffler delete for the? You better not get a muffler delete. Come on, man, Silver. I talked about this enough. Don't do muffler deletes, man. Either get a full CATBACK exhaust, or that's really it. Like I think a muffler delete is just a little 2 pipes and the tips. It's a waste of money. Either get a proper AXLEBACK where it comes with the 2 resonators like the Rev 9 or Tanambi, or you get a full CATBACK exhaust, or even the Infiniti AXLEBACK, which I still think is overpriced. Even that's just my honest opinion. John, is the Q50 okay? Is the Q60 Red Sport good? Yeah, John. I mean, it's a good car. I still think it's a vague question, but is it a good, decent, reliable car? I mean, people could comment below and tell you right now in the chat they enjoy their Q60 Red Sport, but it's a relatively good car. If you want to just get it stock the way it is, just look for a lower mileage one. Stay away from the 50, 60,000 miles, relatively new, because with these turbos on any car, I gotta keep saying on any car with turbos nowadays, the more mileage on the turbos, the closer you are to the turbos failing. Would you consider Q60, Q50 reliable? Same thing, 3.0 T. It's the same drivetrain. If it's a 3.7 Q50, it's super reliable. You really don't have any issues. Understand what reliable means, guys. Do you guys mean is the transmission engine good, or am I gonna get stranded? Because at the end of the day, don't matter the car you have. If you have an alternator, it can stop working. If you have a starter, it can stop working. You know what I'm saying? Like this stuff is going to go out at some period. We cannot just think that we could get in these cars and they will start every day, all day for the next 7 years. This is not possible. I've had my car for 3 years. It has started for the last 3 years. It's driven almost every single day. Is my car reliable? Yes. I also have the driver's side turbo that is leaking oil right now. Not a lot, but it's leaking. Is my car still hitting its boost targets? Yes. Is there oil shooting out my exhaust? No. That's it. So is my car reliable? Yes. But it has an oil leak. But that's still a good question. I get it. Don't think I'm coming at you, brother. It's just, we're talking. Hey, Boost, what's going on, OG? What's going on, man? Hope I upgraded my turbo to stage 2 on my 320i. I did 12.4. Ooh, that's good. See, you upgraded the turbo on your car now. All right, now you trying to keep up with the JB4 Q50s. But I'm good to see you, man. Good to see you in chat. It cost me $1,500 for the turbo, 500 USD. Okay. I mean, it's probably so simple, easy to put that turbo in that car too. It's just probably just pop the hood. It's probably just right there, and you just unbolt it and plug it in. You'll probably get a lot faster too when it probably gets retuned, especially if you go E85. Quick question: is there an LSD kit for the Q50? And if so, where can I get one? Silver lining: you can go to 1 Z1 Motorsports, 2 AMS. They sell LSD discs for our cars. Okay. Cam, high flow cats for a q60 3.0. Okay, so that's what Cam had asked me earlier. Any recommendation for high flows? Okay, cool. I made a video about a year ago about the ones on the market. You have it. I really can't remember off the top of my head. I believe Z1 Motorsports made one, and there's 2 or 3 other companies. I can't remember, but I think they all had different cell counts. Cell counts is pretty much how much the CAD material restricts flow. I really can't remember right now because but I know I did a whole video about talking about the differences and which one I would recommend. It's been a while. Just put in boostinmotion, high flow cats or something. It is there. I made a good 10-minute video about all the ones on the market. Sorry, I really can't give you exactly, but there are out there for our cars, and they're full catted downpipes. Sorry, Cam. I really wish I could give you the answer in this video. AMS full down pipes or fast intention full down pipes. Brian, to be honest with you, people make fun of me. It's all pipe. AMS has their name and they stamp it. Wait, there was a big thing about this. AMS is not stamping their full down pipe. So you're basically just buying a pipe with no AMS stamp on it. Yeah, so when you go resell it, people don't know if it's from AMS or not. That's a big issue, right? Or fast intentions. I think fast intentions full down pipes just take a little while to get made. I think that would be the only downfall. But considering both of them, they both will probably give you no fitment issues. Outside of that, they're gonna give you the same power. They're all pipe. It's the same pipe. It doesn't sound right, but if you know what I mean. Guys, get them likes up, man. I got 55 of you guys watching. I got 45 likes, man. Come on, get them likes up. Okay, this is Moon says, what's good, man? Just want to say that your videos are great and keep it going. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Moon. Thank you, man. I'm super appreciative. Truth says, on the fence with the saving the bread for AMS Stage 3 performance kit, but not sure if it's worth it. Also, do you know any good spots in Ocean Mount County for tuning? I don't know where Ocean Mount County is at Truth. So either write down where that it actually is, because I do know where some tuning shops are across the nation, being in this community. So I try to direct you guys to I kind of trust or know that's in the market. Alvin, I have a JB4 and heat exchanger. Can I be a RTS? What is an RTS? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. Woody, can you beat scats? Right now I should be able to beat scats. Scat Pack 6.4s that are stock. Modified ones, we should be door to door, or they might get out on me, or I might get out on them. If they E85, yeah. I mean, at the track though, you could take a scat and take the interior out, and they'll run low 11s. My fastest I've ever ran right now on the track is 11.8. So I know scats with a proper drag setup will beat me on times and 60 foots. You guys can damn near pull like a 1.6, maybe a 1.5 at the track. James, Walmart bought out TikTok, so Walmart stock should go up in the next few days. James, I have to take a look at that. That's crazy. But I thought Oracle was supposed to work with TikTok. I have to look into that. RTS are food. I don't know. Oh, RTs are food. Okay. Oh, that's what he said. Can you be RTs? JB4 and RT. I have a video with a modified 392 that I raced like a year and some change ago. We was door to door. It's not going to be easy. I think the boost controller, you can keep up with them, but it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. It ain't that easy to just maybe from a dig on the street, but on a roll, the top end was just too much. So I can't. I'll just say you'll be door to door. I'll leave it at that. Last thing, would you recommend me getting lower downpipes on my 3.0, or would it require a tune without time? You, as per AMS, Zemo Motorsports, and a few other tuning shops, you can be able to install lower downpipes on your car and run into no check engine lights and no tune. Reason being is you still have upper cats on your exhaust. That is it. Literally, it's just like putting a CATBACK exhaust on and not having to really get retuned. That's the thing about VR30s. Like, I mean, turbo cars. They don't really need to have anything really change that much. If you're a naturally aspirated car and you went with test pipes, then yes, you should get a tune because the car isn't at its best parameters, and you could run into check engine lights. That's for the VQ guys. But VR30, no. Okay, cool. Last question. Sorry, 392 versus stock Redsport. If not, what about Redsport? Like it's the same thing like Yash, as you're saying. A 392 Charger is fast out the hole. They're still, even though they're heavy cars, they're still fast. A stock Redsport will lose versus a stock 392. It's not gonna win. Like I don't see it winning stock for stock from a dig. No, I don't really see it. I mean, if the Redsport get out quick because it's all-wheel drive and the guy spins a little bit, then yeah. But outside that, the 392 is going to start walking. You're going to need a JB4 to keep up with a stock 392. At least map 1 or map 2 on stock Redsport. At least be door to door. At least kind of get away. But outside of that, like, it ain't going to be easy. Can we beat a 340 with a JB4? I don't think so. 340s, it should be door to door. Once again, it should be relatively. We're talking about cars here that have relatively similar horsepower or wheel horsepower when you add a JB4 on both of them. But I still know 340s are a little bit better. My friend, if he's probably watching right now, he had a 440i Grand Coupe, had a JB4, and we were pretty close in power. So I think I had this videos on my channel. I'm not too positive, but they're relatively close in power. So you really can't sit there and say which one's going to really edge out. It's kind of whoever gets out first, I would say. BQ Garage, what's going on? Hey, Boost, you think putting an exhaust on an Infiniti QX50 will be a cool project? I've never seen people modify the 2017 QX. Well, there are a few people who do modify. Still a 3.7. You can put exhaust on it. People put exhaust on the FXs. They sound pretty good. They sound really good. Some people even put the G35, G37 exhausts on it to just redo the welding a little bit, either add some pipe, and it gives it a good sound. It's just the car room. You can do whatever you want to do. I mean, if it sounds good, no one could ever sit there and play you like, wow, that QX50 sounds amazing, but it's a QX50. You know, it's really up to you. But thank you, man, for that question. Moons, what's going on? Said Moons, you probably say this all the time in your videos, but if you had a chance to get another car for the channel, what would it be? To be honest, I'm gonna say it again. If I had a proper garage, Q50, G37 Coupe, and GTR, because I would want to know all three of those platforms. But over time, of course, I would want to branch over into other cars. I've said it before. I would like to branch over into an M3 because that's the top tier level of our cars. On the top end, I don't know if I will ever get there. Probably a GT3, GT2, one of those two of those cars, those type of Porsches, because I think those cars are dope. Not too much cars after that. Maybe an M5 competition. I do like the BMWs. Maybe touch a C63 or E63. But this is just dreams. You know, this is stuff that I like how those cars look, but I really don't want to own them. You know what I'm saying? I like to like sit there and say I had it for a little while. It was cool, but I gave it back. You know, or I went and sold it. But that was a good question, man. Okay, Sub Boost. What do you think about Frozen Boost heat exchanger? It's relatively cheap, and it's relatively affordable. It won't have as much cooling compared to, like, say, a Burger Tuning or an AMS, Mishimoto, because it's a lot smaller, a lot thinner, so it doesn't have as much cooling capacity. But the pros is it does give you, it's better than the stock one, of course, and two, it does give you that front mount look. A lot of people get the Frozen Boost heat exchanger because you can bolt it up to the front. It looks like you have a front mount intercooler, which is pretty cool. But it works perfectly fine. It's just that you want more coolant in the system. Some people run the Frozen Boost heat exchanger with the stock unit. So they keep the stock unit and they just run the Frozen Boost one in line in circuit with it. So it's just, you know, it just adds more coolant to the system. So you can do that too. That guy Boost, do you think the concept Black S going into production? Absolutely not. Sorry, that guy. They're not, and Nissan doesn't have the money to do that right now. They'll rather put their money into the new Z car than even come out with a Black S. And think about how they would have to redistribute the pricing of the Q60 now. I don't think they would do it. It's too much of a risk knowing that they want to go forward with electrification. You have a better bet of seeing that technology in the black Q60S in the new GTR whenever they choose to bring it out. But right now, they're focusing all their money on the Z and redoing all their cash cow cars, Versas, Kicks, Rogue, all that cars. They want to redo them. Same thing for Infiniti. Omar, what do you think Nissan takes the Q50, Q60 model after? Where do you think Nissan takes the Q50, Q60 model after the Z drops? They said they want to go forward with electrification, so maybe hybrid systems, or maybe just get rid of sedans. Just, excuse me, just being honest. Most people buy crossovers. Unfortunately, most of us have kids and families and stuff like that, so we have to graduate from the four-door sedans or coupes, and at some point we're going to get a crossover because it drives softer, it has more room, it's more versatile. That's just where it's headed. Boost, if you go aftermarket coilovers, would you have changed the axle if you dropped the car an inch? If I went with coilovers again with a new car, I wouldn't. I mean, you don't have to change the axles, man. Like an inch is nothing. The only reason I ran into my axle issues is because I had other issues from the blown control arm, to broke or deteriorated engine mounts. This is just something that happens when you add so much torque from the VR30. The engine mounts will start to go. They start to eat out. There's so much torque being applied. They start to mush out a little bit. You can remedy it if you're slamming the car by adding in Zero Motorsports engine mounts so that the engine doesn't twist as much, and you could add in the longer axles from the M37 so that it gives you a bit more extension to the axle so that they'll stay in the inner joint. But outside of that, yeah, I mean, yeah, 1 inch will not be an issue at all. Boost, if you go, okay, cool. How would Nissan be able to sell the 400Z less than 40K if Infiniti Q60 is 60K? Well, first thing, the Q60 is about $42,000. I think I've talked about this. They're starting 3.0T. So I can see them. First thing, it ain't as nice as the Q60. That's number one. Two, this is a 300 horsepower version, right? So as I talked with Enthusiast POV, Nowhere, and a few others, if they make a 300 horsepower version, it's going to be less than $40,000 because think about they did the same marketing. You have the Q60 Red Sport, which is more expensive, but then you have the 300 horsepower, which is like $10,000 cheaper. So they're not going to come out with the Z car, right, and say it's 300 horsepower version, right, and make it 45K. That wouldn't make any sense because that means the Z and the Q60 are the same price, and the luxury version is the same price. No. And plus, it has less materials and less money went into it. No, I can see them making the 300 horsepower Z, if they even make one, a 300 horsepower one, under $40,000, right? Let's say the high teens, right? Base or whatever. I mean, high $35,000 to $39,000, right? And I can see them making a 400 horsepower version that's above $40,000, like 42 to 45. But of course, it'll probably come with a lot of features and sports stuff, whatever, to validate the price. But they're never going to try to price it above their luxury version. That's just my opinion. You do a great job, Boost. Hope as well. Yeah, man, MPG, man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I don't have 93, only 91. Should I mix a little 85? Yeah, as Saffron, if you have a JB4 or even a stock 3.0T, yeah, you can add a little bit of 5 to the tank to boost up the octane, but don't do that all the time. You want to be able to have a tank of 91 every now and then, because you just want to be able to clean up any of the contaminants and the water separation that happens with 85 over time. Depends on how often you drive, but you don't want a lot of stuff in the tank, because if anything ever goes wrong, you don't want Infiniti to be like, hey, we smell E85 in this mixture. But you can add a little bit of E85, 3 to 4 gallons to a full tank of 91 fuel to bump the octane. I've seen your drag races. You always kill it, but how does your car do in roll races? John, to be quite honest, the VR30, when you're 91 or 93 tuned, these cars fall off after 5 to 5,500 RPM. Reason being is still a high compression ratio motor, so they have to turn down the boost so that you don't run into any knock. the octane is just not high enough for us to hold that peak wheel horsepower. So if you ever look at the dyno graph, you'll see that, oh, the car made 450 wheel horsepower at 5,100 RPM. But at 6,500 RPM, the car made 380. It's a big difference in drop in power. So that turns that car not into a road race car. These cars are not road race cars on 91 and 93 fuel, period. But dig racing, yes, they do pretty good. That's why when you go E85 now, totally different story, because you don't have to taper off the timing and everything like that and taper off the boost. Now you can hold that girl 450 and even a little higher. Good question, John. I appreciate that. Truth, my fault, New Jersey. The closest. Okay, so Truth had asked a little earlier. Give me a second, because I think he said he lived by Edmond. Okay. Truth had asked earlier. He says he's on the fence with saving bread on the AMS Stage 3 Performance Kit and not too sure, and he doesn't have any good spots. Well, you can go to RT Tuning, which is relatively close to New Jersey. They're in PA. You can get a lot of parts, but if you want to talk about performance parts, maybe I should make a video about that. Maybe I should. All right, I should do this right after this video. I'll make a video on copying AMS's kits. I don't know if I should do it because AMS may get mad with me. I don't care. But they may get mad at me because I'll probably make the same type of I'll take their stages and I'll just sit there and say, rather than get AMS's lower downpipes, just get Megan's. You just save this amount of money. Maybe I'll do something like that. If you guys will like something like that, hit the like button right now. Get them likes up, guys. Get them likes up. Maybe I should do something like that to save you guys some money, because I love AMS. It's a great company, but you pay a tax when you go with the more expensive stuff sometimes. And not everybody is going to go and buy Louis sneakers. Like, everyone can't afford it. So they might just want to get Jordans. If they don't want to get Jordans, they just might want to get some Filas. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's a shoe. You still get it done, you know? But, you know, some people just like expensive stuff. Some people like cheaper stuff. Cheap guy. But I'll definitely look into that. But, yeah, definitely check out RT Tuning. They'll do the tuning and stuff for you. Pretty good guys over there. Check them out. But 1 second, I gotta go back down, guys. I gotta go back down in the questions. Okay, cool. He says, since the 400Z will have a manual, do you that they would add a manual to the? No, they're not gonna add a manual to the Q50 and Q60. I doubt them doing so. Reason being, they've already got a traditional automatic, and they only gave it a manual because the Z following said keep a manual in there, and it wasn't really hard for them to keep the manual in there. It's not like they had to redesign everything to keep a manual in there. It's pretty much the same 6-speed manual transmission from the 370Z, pretty much. What street tire would you recommend for a rear-wheel drive sedan like the Q50 or Stinger? I want a streetable tire that gives a good grip but still can be daily driven. To be honest, MPG, I really have no recommendations here. Reason being is, even though I used to sell tires back in the day when I was younger, I only sold Michelin, BF Goodwrench, Unit Royals, and outside of that, I only like really Continentals. On my car, I have BARUM Bavaria summer tires, relatively good. But when it comes to tire game right now, I don't know too much. And rear-wheel drive is a whole nother story, because even if you want grip, your rear-wheel drive, you're going to spin regardless. Yes, the traction control may help you, but I really wouldn't be able to tell you anything else other than that. What I would recommend doing is check out Walmart, check out Tire Rack, and check out the reviews for different tires in your price range. That is my best recommendation I could give you guys. Twin, what's up? Appreciate the videos. Do you know where I can get Akebono calipers cheap? Twins, it's up to you. You could go with Power Stop calipers. They're pretty much the same replicas of Akebono brakes. I think the Power Stop brakes are sold on eBay, or you can even purchase them from Z1 Motorsports, but they're pretty much the same brake calipers and everything. They'll come with the rotors as a whole kit, and you just swap them right over. They're under $1,000. I forgot how much the calipers are each, but they're not too expensive. Or you can buy a used set of calipers. You can do that too, and try to find them from local pull yards, like salvage yards. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I can tell you. eBay, sell them used, up to you. But they're out there. You can get them on Rec 337s, 370Zs, Q50s. Those calipers been around for a long time, so you can find them if you just look around. You can find them for cheap if you look around. Even check Facebook Marketplace. You'd be surprised. Or offer up. Check out those apps and stuff. Yo, Boost, when you come to Chicago. Well, I already came to Chicago earlier this year, but I didn't really come there for me. I came there to hang out with my boys. But with this COVID nonsense is going, I'm sorry if I said nonsense. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody who might have lost somebody. I'm sorry, but we want to move forward with our lives. We can't stop this forever for this. We just can't stop. We need to move forward with our lives. We have to move forward. We're human beings. We've been on this earth for how long, and how much diseases have we already encountered? Come on, we gotta move forward. Yes, there'll be a vaccine, but at the end of the day, we gotta move forward. It's unfortunate we lost somebody. I know people who have lost somebody, and I feel so bad for them. But at the end of the day, like, we have to take the necessary steps to move forward with the future. We can't stop the world forever. But yes, I would like to go back to Chicago. Chicago's super fun. I even like Chicago in the cold. But they need, once these rules and restrictions go away, I'm gonna start traveling a lot again. So I'm definitely gonna see some of you guys. Hey Boost, do you think the AMS full down pipes are a waste? Based on price, yes. If they are, well, I don't think the pricing is too bad for the AMS full down pipes. I think they were like $6.99 or something. That's not too bad compared to what's on the market. So I can't say they're a waste on price if they're still affordable right around the competition. JB4 Luxe extra 9 psi struggling with shifting from 1 to 2. Yeah, it's gonna do that. You have to shift your car. If you have a JB4 on a Q50 or Q60 and you don't have a red sport, it's not gonna shift as good. So it's gonna struggle. So you're gonna have to shift these cars yourself. I talked about this in some of my older videos while I do my 0 to 60 times. I have plenty of content, guys, that you guys probably haven't even discovered on my channel yet. I've done a lot of stuff with this Q50 and learned a lot of things, and it sometimes is there, but definitely check out, I think it's called, my Q50 is faster than an S6 video. I talked about shifting points and stuff like that on the JB4, so I definitely made a lot of videos on it. You say, yeah, and goes to 7K, then bogs. Yep, you have to shift about right around 5,500 RPM for the first to second, and maybe the second to third. My dad just got his blower valves for his red sport. Sounds good, doesn't it? Stock 3.3 all-wheel drive 3.2. Who would win? Well, the Stinger's a little heavier, but it's still gonna lose. Like, it's not gonna be a 392. 392s are faster cars. Like, you guys gotta understand, 392s are not slow cars. Like, we say they're slow because they're heavy, but they're still fast cars. Like, if you still want a good sounding V8, a decent 8-speed transmission, it is a little heavier inside, but it's still pretty much a fast car. It sounds amazing. 310 is fast if they get a 15-second head start. Ah, man, that's funny, Brandon. That's funny. Teslas are super fast from Dix. I don't know what you're talking about. The A's are fast. I also just copied carbon fiber spoiler for my 3.7. Yep. Gabrielle, do you think that getting a secondary pump is necessary for 3.0T? Well, it's really up to you. Gabe, it's really up to you. If you really consider consistent performance and keeping the cooling at its maximum efficiency, then yes. $500 is a little expensive, but they're getting it done for you. It's really up to you, man. It all depends on the type of lifestyle you have with your car. Some people just want to throw a JB4 and call it a day. Some people want to change out turbos and a secondary pump. You might need to do that at that point. I would recommend doing that. Hey, Boost, can you recommend a great mechanic in NY? Well, if you're in NYC, Cook and Comedy, the one shop that works for my channel, All Out Motorworks in Long Island, they work my channel. It's a friend of mine who owns the shop for the last, I would say, almost 15 years now. But he has a shop out in Long Island called All Out Motorworks. He takes care of all the boostinmotion family. Like, he gives you guys discounts and prices and everything like that. Yes, check him out. I should write it in the chat. But anyway, All Out Motorworks in Long Island. He's a channel sponsor, and much love and respect to them. And they definitely work on a lot of our cars. 3.72, and he's also used to be a Nissan Infiniti Maxima guy too. So yeah, he's been around the Nissan community for a while. VZ, how fast are pure turbos? Ran into a blue pure turbo Q50 with my friend and his F80 M3 on 85. We got walked. Well, at this current moment, pure turbo stage 2 Q50s are putting out close to 600 wheel horsepower, and that's still pretty freaking fast. I don't know how. That's probably in the 7-second or 6. We just broke into the 6 seconds of 60 to 130 times. So it's right around low 7s, high 6s, and 60 to 130 times. If you know about that, that's pretty freaking quick. Example, Hellcat Red Eyes stock run right around mid 7s, And I use Monta Fame. His old setup on about 800, 850 wheel horsepower was right around mid sixes to low sixes. So yes, this is an 800 wheel horsepower Hellcat that ran around mid sixes. So yeah, we're pretty fast up there now. Bear with me, guys. Get them likes up, man. Some of you guys signed out. I appreciate it. If you guys, sorry if I didn't get to all you guys' questions. Bear with me, guys. What should be the first mod I do on my 2016 Q50? I do get this question a lot. I do have a video on it too. Telling you guys, I got videos already for you. I just check in the search button. But first modification for performance. Well, first thing, do your maintenance first. Just it. Whatever maintenance you've done, change whatever fluids, change it because it's a pre-owned car. But outside of that, it's up to you. If you pick a horsepower range you want to aim for, and I have videos on it on the parts you need. So if you want to have 500 horsepower, but care about your warranty, JB4, some downpipes, CATBACK a little bit, and call it a day. Heat exchanger. But if you want to have 500 horsepower reliably and get the most out of it on 93 fuel, downpipes, CATBACK exhaust, heat exchanger, and a full-fledged tune. 420, 440 horsepower. That's a 500 horsepower 3-crank. E85, change the turbos, upgrade your fuel system. E85, get the car retuned. Close to 600 horsepower pure turbo. Bear with me, guys. Want to answer some more questions here. Stage 2 Q50s are making 600 plus. All right. What map you recommend on a JB4? Brian, I have videos on this too. If you have a red sport, map 1, map 2, you really don't want to go too much more higher. You kind of kill the fuel system. If you have the regular 300 horsepower version, you go with map 7 plus 7, maybe even plus 8 on top, depending on what fuel you're running, such as 93. If you're running 91 fuel, you actually have to run a smaller map on your 3.0s. Reason being is there's less octane, so you'll run to knock a little bit more. The car will feel faster, but the timing is going to be turned down a lot more, and the car it'll feel faster, but it's not running right. Yeah, VZ said, yeah, on a effing stock block end. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, on a stock, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, on a stock bottom end. That's a seal block, 600 horsepower, stock transmission, and stock motor. That's it. Do you think we need to? Okay. Do we think? Oh man, yeah. Q50 Red Sport asked this question. That's a good question. I came out with a video about it. What I said already. Do you think we need to change out our OEM fuel rails that AMS recommend if you don't have any issues with your injectors? Will the inline fuel filter suffice? I am not an engineer, but AMS took the R&D staff engineers, and they sat there and said, when you change out your high pressure fuel pump, what's happening is that you are whatever contaminants are in the fuel rail is now dislodging and getting stuck into the injectors. That is what AMS is saying. So I'm not an engineer, and I'll take their advice on it, and that's what I can sit there and say. But in my personal opinion, I think a lot of this shit is bullshit. But it is what it is. They're engineers. You gotta listen to them. I'm just some random dude from Brooklyn. And will an inline fuel filter suffice? No. The fuel filter is pre-high pressure fuel pump. So if there is any contaminants or anything inside the fuel filter, a fuel rail that breaks off, the inline fuel filter is before the high pressure fuel pump. It's not going to help. It only helps from the tank. People are not losing injectors when they go E85 on stock system. They're not running into these issues. They only run into these issues once they add an AMS high pressure fuel pump or the spool performance high pressure fuel pump. Even if they try to install it as clean as possible, it always happens, which still makes me sit there and think it's something coming from the high pressure fuel pumps. But this is just my opinion. I'm just some random dude from Brooklyn. You know, these small little these little, what is it? They said it's a 10 micron. You know what 10 micron is? 10 micron of contaminants are getting into the injector, even though the injectors usually have 10 to 20 micron filters on them. It is what it is. Are you going fully 85? How are you doing, boss? Oh, I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. Started watching your videos when I was considering a used Q50. red. Ended up buying a Maxima instead and waiting until I can buy a brand new one. I feel you, man. Maximas are great. I just don't like the CVT transmission. They killed that fun of that car by making it, adding a CVT transmission to it. Boost, do you think they'll put a 9-speed in New Z? That guy, I hope so. The 9-speed is in the Titan and the Frontier. Please give it that automatic transmission. Always appreciate the content. Thank you, Hollis. I appreciate it. Boost, what's good, my guy? I feel amazing, Ty. I hope you're feeling great too. Omar, Heineken or Guinness? I'm not drinking tonight. I would have to pick Heineken over Guinness because I just don't like malt that much. Please don't unfollow me because of that. I just don't like malt that much. I'd rather drink a Heineken over Guinness. But I get why. Guinness, I get it. I just don't. I'd rather drink the Heineken. I don't know why. Megan versus AMS downpipes aren't 2.5. Well, the AMS downpipes that say 3 inches of lower downpipes, they're really 2.5 inch to 3 inches. They sell it with an adapter. That's just the way to design it, I guess, for marketing purposes, say 3 inches. But I don't really see much of a difference in performance because it's just pipe. It's just pipe, guys. It is it. Unless you're going, let's say, full 3-inch downpipes, then I can see the difference in 2.5 to 3 inches. Mohammed, hey man, for the Akabono upgrade, what kind of pads and rotors should I get? Well, Mohammed, that's really up to you and your price point. I am boost on a budget. I went for some cheap rotors, but I recommend going with a little bit more expensive rotors because they have more zinc in them and they put more, I would say, metal into the rotors themselves so that they don't warp. But I am a fan of Hawk 5.0 pads. They do add a little bit of dust if you like the dust part, if you don't like the dust. But I think the brake performance has been really consistent with them. Go ahead. How about me? Gee, what's up? Okay. If you want to check out the merch, man, Hollis, the merch will be below in the Teespring account if you're watching on your phone. So you can definitely order it directly from there. Shipped right to your house. Get Megan low downpipes and up and downpipes for about 3. Yeah, at Lyric is actually giving you guys a little bit of a cheat code. If you guys don't want to get full downpipes, they're like $500-$600. What you can do is actually get Megan lower downpipes for about $150. And I think Z1 Motorsports and another company sells the upper pipes for relatively cheap. So you can get pretty much full downpipes in 2 sections for a little bit cheaper cost. Good hack, Lyric. Peck, what are some new movies you're looking forward to seeing? James Bond. Peck, to be quite honest, I have not been really watching movies for probably the last 2 years. The most I watch is like Netflix, their series and shows and stuff. But outside of that, I'm not really much of a TV person. I actually rather sit here and watch YouTube videos on developing a business or help boosting my credit or stocks, because I've been doing stocks for probably 5 to 6 years now, but in the last 2 years I've been really paying attention on this one, and there's a lot of money to be made in the market now, so that's what I've mainly been paying attention to, all financial business stuff. I'm really the type of person I like watching news. I'm just weird like that. Never seen you post the JB4 Map 6 that you were running. Well, Anthony, I talked about it in one of my videos. You can run +8 up to +9, but with a slight E85 mix. But if I tell people just go do that, they're just gonna go do it and they're gonna run into problems. People think that they can run +9 on a red sport. What? Why are you running +9 on a red sport? Are you insane? Because you have boost targets of 15 to 16 sometimes on a red sport, depending on the temperature. If you put +9 onto that, it's 24 psi. And what? No. And this is how these people mess up their cars. The car will literally run out of fuel when you start pushing more than 20 psi on a stock red sport system. The car is going to start running into fueling issues because it's going to start shooting super rich. It will literally stutter. Do you recommend AMS auxiliary pump? Yeah, I already said this and said, Brian, if you are going to push for higher horsepower and you know you're going to be racing this car, then yes, you should get the secondary pump. But if you're just some regular day-to-day driver, don't get the auxiliary pump. Save your money for something else. Yo, Boost, I live in New Jersey. I'm selling my Q50 Okay, G37 all-wheel drive at 8,000. I'm selling for 15K. Well, I'm not gonna buy it for 15K. I'm sorry, man. I don't want an all-wheel drive. That's one. Two, $15,000 too much. I've been looking at 2008s for 5 to 6,000 to 7,000 grand, 7,000. And that's way more affordable for me to get into and just to drive it for a little while and then resell it and not really lose any money. So I can't myself spending 15,000, but you know, that's still a good deal for that's probably a 2014, 2015, but they changed over to q60 name. That sounds like a good deal. I believe enthusiast POP had injector issues even though he had a fuel filter. Yep, you're definitely right. I am worried about my CVT thing. That scares me about the Q50 was when you were talking about the turbos failing over mileage. Okay, yeah, but this is not only thing something that's, if you're gonna own a turbo car, understand you have to own what will happen to it. You guys go get a 340i. After 100,000 miles, things will break. Turbos will go. This is just something that's going to happen with any car with a turbo. There's more moving components, so you have a more likely chance of it breaking. So if you guys want a Q50, but you don't really care about performance, just get a 3.7. Just get a 2014, 2015, 3.7. Change out the front bumper to the 2018 bumper. Not that hard. It's relatively cheap to do. So now your car looks like a 2018 and newer. You can change the tail lights and the rear bumper too. Relatively cheap to do. There's plenty of Q50s right out there to buy the parts and they swap right over. So it's really easy for you guys to do this, man. It's not too hard. There's videos on this stuff right. Not from my channel though, but there are channels out there that I know that they have done this conversions and swaps. You drink IPA? I don't know what IPA is. I'm sorry, man. Pretty much every 3.0 owner I've met have blown turbos at least once. It's sad. I'm not me. I know a lot of owners because they follow me. They haven't blown their turbos. It's mostly people who really try to push the limits, and some people literally beat on the car like if it's an NA car. These are not the type of cars you can just beat on and see the oil temperatures go really high. Like oil temperatures, anything above 220 is just too much, especially on 0-20, and they'll beat on these cars in rev. What do you think is going to happen? The turbo is going to go, or the motor is going to go. The oil is too thin to be running at that high temperature. You lose too much oil pressure. Yeah, it's nice, a fun car. I didn't want to buy 2 new turbos and short. It makes sense. Warranty. Yeah, okay, cool. Smear, go for 3.7. Okay, cool. Hey, Boost, quick little confirmation question. The JB4 foil kit does not give a check engine light, right? Jacob, you shouldn't get a check engine light with a JB4 as long as it's plugged in correctly. But I did get at least 3 to 4 check engine lights when I was data log in the 4th gear, and that check engine light was literally for nothing. It was literally for no code. I just cleared it with the JB4 and it never came back. But outside of that, I only got a check engine light only when I was data logging from a low like 2,000 RPM all the way up to a rev line. But you shouldn't run to any check engine lights as long as it's installed properly. Or maybe there might be a disconnection within the JB4. So just be careful of that. It shouldn't be. Jacob, Boost, can I get some Tesla stock, bro? I'm making money off that joint. Well, I mean, listen, Tesla stock is so volatile right now, and a battery day is supposed to be, I believe, Tuesday. So we'll see what happens. There's a lot of technology and speculation that goes into that company right now. But to be honest, they're far ahead of everyone else, and we're just making money off them. I made some money off of Tesla stock. I'm literally, I would say I'm swing trading them. I wanted to hold them, but because they've been so moving back and forth, I felt as if I lost some money holding them. I should have sold it before. I should have sold it the day after they swapped. They did the split, because I lost some money when they dropped, so I was a little mad. But I still sold at a profit. But I'm buying them every now and then because they jump up between 5 and 10% within 5 days. So there's money to be made there. They're always going to keep going up, though. The trend is always up. Sorry guys, talking about what stocks and stuff. Anytime, blah blah blah. We'll work quick as hell. Money. What life? What is the life on the turbos if it's driven stock? To be honest, at GT, I don't know. I don't know. I honestly wouldn't be able to tell you guys. From some of the people I know that are Nissan Infiniti techs, some people have changed their turbos within the first 10K. Some people have changed their turbos at 80, 90K because they had extended warranty. And those are stock cars. So it really just depends on person's driving style. But the new 2019 to 2020, they switched to a different model number for the turbos. So hopefully for the newer model turbos that are going in these cars, they shouldn't run into these issues. So Nissan Infiniti must have knew there was some issue with it for them to give it a new part number. Okay, I have so much fun with it. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right. Are you still making a video on the different exhaust sounds? Yes, Twan. That video got messed up. Reason being is Twan's bringing up a video on Instagram. I asked everybody what's the different CATBACK and exhaust sounds. I literally have all your guys' videos, but then somehow, some way, the program that I used to edit it, it messed up and I lost all of it. So I only have the videos of the noises, but I don't have the I don't have the exhaust. So I'm gonna probably put out a video. Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna put out something on Instagram so you guys can send me the exhaust clips of your Q50, Q60s on the VR30 so I can give the different options, and then I'll make a mega video. Thank you for reminding me, man. I've been so out of it the last few weeks, man. Thank you for reminding me, Tuan. What springs would you recommend for coils? Springs or just for daily driving, cruising, not tracking anything? These 10s I'm looking at are 12. Yeah, that's fine. You said spring rates. That's fine. These out-of-box kits for the coilovers are perfectly fine. 12K and 5K, that's perfectly fine. That's good for daily driving. Francis, JB4 Map 7, first time I heard is versus using a Silver Sport. You just stick with Map 3 and that's neat. Yeah, you can, you out the whole. If you have 93 fuel, you can go right to Map 7 on a regular 3.0 300 horsepower version. You can start Map 1, Map 2, so you can learn the car and everything like that. But for 93 fuel, Map 7 is perfectly fine. For red sports, I wouldn't go over Map 2 because you're starting to run too much boost and you're gonna run into a fueling issue. Spring rates, yeah, 12K and 5K is fine. Do you think the Z is gonna come with bigger turbos? Lyric, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We know it's gonna probably have better cooling. But bigger turbos, I don't know. It all depends on what they want to do. I really don't have no idea. Just not sure if I should be putting premium or regular in it. Label says premium, so I don't. I mean, listen, but it recommends 87. If the car says it can run on 87, 87 it gets. We're talking about Maximus here, not 3.0 T's, guys. Stop putting 87 or 89 in these cars, please. It's not gonna run right. Some people get 50K, some blow, some. Yeah, he's right. Hey Boost, are you running Killer Chiller yet? Any updates on that? I was super interested and I hope it was well. All right, okay. Listen, Dan, to be quite honest, I've lost. Oh, I've said it in one of my last videos. I've lost all the I won't say ambition, the drive to do anything else more than this car. Reason being is I live in New York City. There's not really much to do in the car room. We don't have racetracks. We don't have driving courses. There's no space to open the car up. It's a place that sucks for the car community. The most you'll see over in this car community is people sliding the car, which is drifting in a parking lot, or they put bags in the cars and wheels and just slam it to the ground. That's literally it. That's the name of the game over here. It's getting cold outside now over here. It's already 50-something degrees, 40-something degrees. Putting a Killer Chiller on wouldn't even make sense. And I was trying to go to the racetrack to Cecile County and have like a performance meet. And Cecile County in Maryland, they're pretty much not open for regular drivers to come and race. And I don't know when they're gonna put this schedule back up, but it's pretty much getting colder outside. I don't know what's gonna happen. COVID messed up a lot of things with what I wanted to do. And this car was supposed to get RT turbos, Killer Chiller, and I was supposed to be full send all summer. But COVID came and said, all that fun you wanted to do, you can't do it now because who are you going to race against? Yourself? There's no one to do. There's nothing to do. Even I usually go to Mod to Fame road race events. I only got to go to one because all the other ones were canceled or the FAA canceled his events. So there's no racing to do. And I don't see the point in putting that on the car now to make a video just to take it off in the next 4 or 5 months. And also, it's cold outside. I have a lot of cooling. Remember, I have the fender tank. I have the BMS heat exchanger. My temps are colder and then it's right around whatever outside is. And my car doesn't heat soak that quick. So at this point, it was more of like a treasure chest or a war chest thing. The RT turbos with the Killer Chiller because it was 100 degrees outside. Now it's cold, so really no point. So I'm sorry, man. Doesn't mean I won't put the Killer Chiller on the next car. Doesn't mean I won't do it. I'm still, for people that watch, I'm looking to get a Q60 3.0 T. But that will probably be in the next 6 months. But I'll bring out a video talking about that a bit more. We'll see what happens though. Oh, Anthony, I appreciate your videos. You have been a big help. Some people are hard to watch. I'm Anthony. I'm not the easiest to watch, but I'm glad that I can give you guys some videos, some content. I don't really got that much energy tonight, but I'm probably going to go in the next 10 minutes and everything like that because, you know, got work and stuff in the morning. Thanks for sticking with the channel. We'll be interested to see if the Z triggers boost. Haha, mods. Okay, cool. I love the channel, bro. I have a clean G37 with mods. Yo, that's an expensive exhaust, man. Boy, that exhaust costs half the price of a used G37. You ever do fan meetups around Philly? I haven't been to Philly for fan. I can't do things if things are closed. It doesn't make sense for me to drive somewhere where I can't go to a restaurant and eat properly. That doesn't make sense. I can't meet up with people and not be bothered. Like COVID has stopped a lot of things and me interacting with people. Me just wanting to travel places. Like I can definitely go to Philly. Philly has a lot of Mopar community, which is pretty cool. And I've heard there's a lot of people, a lot of queues in Philly, Maryland, and stuff like that. I like to meet up, but I'm not going to go to these places just to chill and not do anything. It doesn't make sense for me to spend that money. I want to be able to go to these states and they're open, but unfortunately, everyone's worried about getting sick. We're waiting for a vaccine. Like, oh, the vaccine comes out. Are you guys going to even take the vaccine? Most of us are not even going to take it. So we're waiting for this mythical vaccine to come and save us, save our lives. Brian, what dampening setting do you have in coilovers? Well, it really depends, Brian, up to you. It all depends on your spring rate and all depends on your comfort. I can't tell you what setting. You just mess with it. Pop your hood, drive the car. If you feel like the front end is too stiff, you make it softer. If you feel like you hit a bump and the back end jumps up too much, make it softer. If it feels like it's too cushy, make it tighter. That's it. That's what adjustability is. Wonder what Nissan's gonna do with the rev hang issue on the VR30 and the stick shift on the new Z. That would be very annoying. Well, I think the rev hang is really because of the transmission tuning on the VR30. That's relatively it. Or are you talking about rev matching? Because our cars do come with rev match on the 7-speed, so that might be what she's talking about too. But the new Z is going to be stick shift, so they probably won't have that issue. I wonder, do you think the new TLX Type S will push the VR30 to the curb? A similar price range, newer technology. As Winner, shout out to Winner. That's my friend in real life. But I don't know exactly what transmission that they're gonna have. I think they already have a 9-speed transmission that is already in some of the new Acuras. I don't think that. I got to see how the motor's designed. I believe it's going to be transverse mounted like the Maximas, which is pretty crappy. I don't really like transverse mounted all-wheel drives. That's like on the Hondas and stuff like that. But they're going to put that in that car. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be a hot V where have a single turbo and have the turbo sitting right between the cylinders. I don't know. I really don't know if it's going to throw the VR30 to the side. We just got to wait and see. But I think the car definitely looks like a good, appealing car. Like I told you, bro, I think that the new TLX looks good, but it isn't anything revolutionary where you look at it like, wow, this is the next level of Acura. I think it's just falling in line of what Acura already looks like. Plenty of place to open up here. Yep, tire changes. Hesitant to upgrade because I don't want to return to stock on lease, and winter's coming anyway. Yeah, if winter's coming, if it's gonna be cold where you are, don't even upgrade your heat exchanger. It doesn't even make any sense. I rocked the stock heat exchanger for about a year with JB4. You don't really have to do it. It's only when it gets hot outside and you know you want to keep beating on the car, you'll notice how the car is less slow. Like right now, coming from 80 degrees to 60 degrees, my car feels way faster. Way faster. And as it gets colder, once it gets to 20, 30 degrees outside with all my cooling, my car is going to feel amazing. That's what boost weather is, man. Hey, Boost, what is your day job? I am a meter service technician. So pretty much I do anything with natural gas. Is the Q60 a lot lighter than the Q50? No, I doubt it. The Q60 is probably heavier because they usually try to make the cabin with more rigidity and structure. So if you flip the car, you don't die. So it's probably a little heavier. Same thing with the G37 versus the G37 sedan versus the versus the coupe. Nah, I got you. I was gonna ask you if you ever come around here. Yeah, I've been to Philly a few times. Philly's cool. I got maced in Philly. I went to a phone party and someone maced my eyes. So yeah, that was actually not. It was the cops that maced me, but not really maced me, but they maced the party so we can get out. So yeah. No, I got you, bro. Nice. Okay, cool. Catch can is a nice upgrade. Yeah, catch can is actually a pretty cool thing. I have no problem with catch can. Oh yes, it's expensive. I don't like the RAS so much. Okay, cool. I installed the motor down X5. Okay, cool. All right. Do you recommend Megan racing coilovers? Yes, Twan. They're pretty much all made in the same manufacturer, basically. I had Megan racings on my G37, and I also had it on my Maxima. They were pretty good, very similar quality to the BCs. I had no problem with them. Really considering a CPO M4 for my next car, but he just picked up 12018 40K miles 35. I missed it. Well, Asmir, I hear you. I have a good amount of people over here that I bang with. They just got rid of their Q50s and Q60s, and now they all got M4s and M3s. Everybody else is going to the next lane, but I understand they're the top level cars of this class. If you want an affordable sport coupe that's driver focused, bear with me, driver focused, the M3, M4 is it. Those are the cars that do it. They're leading it by example. I'm not mad at it. It's up to you, man. I have a Q50 overdrive. Can I do coilovers? Yes. If you can put coilovers on your overdrive, no problem, no issue with that. Hey, Boost, I think you skipped my comment. Sorry, Jacob. What was your comment? Oh, have you? Okay, has your opinion on the various tires changed, and do you still highly recommend them? Yes, I actually do. I still have them on the car currently. If you put in Bavarius or BARUM on my channel on the link, you'll see all the videos I talked about it from, I think, like 5,000 miles in. And even till now, I had a recent tire change where it had some camber wear on it. And someone had said, oh, your tires sit inside on the sidewall. I actually flipped the tires. So they're supposed to be directional technically, but the tread pattern isn't. But I had camber wear on the inside because, I've been lowered for so long, slight camber wear. So I just rotated the tires so I could get some more life out of them. I have about maybe 20,000 miles on them right now, and I still love them. I daily driving in Brooklyn every day, hit plenty of potholes. They're extra low tires, so that means they can take more. I don't want to sit there and tell you guys to go get the tire because it takes more abuse. But when you get an extra low tire, they usually have more belts inside of them so that they can take more abuse. It's just what it is designed for. They can take more weight to each tire. So you'll have like a load rating of like 92 or a load rating of 102. 92 low rating is a lot less weight than a low rating of 102 and extra low. So I still recommend them. They're a summer tire, but I've driven my old drive in the winter with them. You don't want to be flooring a 500 horsepower car in the snow, but I got it wrong just fine with an overdrive. Would you say an M3, M2 is more reliable than a Q50? I never owned an M3 or M2. M2 was at the N55. Early model M55. Well, it's pretty much a derivative of not M54, which isn't all the best. An M3, there's plenty of M3s out there, from the naturally aspirated one to the V8s to the newer ones. They all had their own issues, from rod bearing issues to, crank hub issues. Really up to you, man. Thanks again, Boost, responsive YouTuber. Yeah, thank you, Smear. I appreciate it. Hey, this is really helpful because I'm going to be purchasing Q50 in upcoming months. Okay, cool, man. I'm glad I could help you, Jacob. And 3.7 Q50 king of reliability. Yes, that's one of the most reliable platforms out there. But I'm like, so you gonna upgrade your center console? Heck, no, not on this car. No, as I don't see them. I would, if I'm going to upgrade it, either it's going to be with a module, so I can add Android and Apple Auto CarPlay, stuff like that. Not the NAVIKS unit that I had before. I do like the Phoenix Tesla screen. It seems like they finally got all the bugs out, but not on this car. I wouldn't see the sense. It would be no valuable. It won't be valuable for me to do it, knowing I'm going to give back the car in the next few months. But outside of that, guys, if you guys have any more questions for me, you can add me at boostinmotion on IG and Facebook, and boostinmotion@gmail.com. I'm about to go. I've been hanging out with you guys for an hour and a half. But I'm super appreciative of you guys hanging out and always talking to me, man. Like, I'm super appreciative of it. And I'm thanking for you guys always hang out with me, talk, subscribe to the channel. You watch the videos from the start to finish. I haven't been making much content lately because I just haven't been thinking about the car too much. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to find what the next car I'm going to get for the channel while still having the Q50, which is the G37 Coupe. I'm still on the look for it. Trying to spend between 5 to 7, make a little bit of money off the channel in the sense of making content for it. And also, I just want to have a second car. I'm gonna start demodding this car soon in the next couple months, and we'll see what's the next car we're gonna get for the channel, man. I'm super appreciative. But outside of that, guys, you already know what to do. If you want to subscribe to the channel, because I also have new subscribers who jump on my lives, and I appreciate you guys so much. And want to support the channel, you can check the Teespring account below for the Boost Motion merch. I'm going to do some redesigns and hoodies and make stuff a little bit more affordable for the sweatshirts and for the hoodies and stuff like that. But outside of that, guys, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good night. Thank you, guys. You have a good day.